Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of Sipping Wealth Live. Hello. It is a different rendition of the Sipping Wealth Lives where we speak specifically about the Wealthy Brunch. So I am super excited to bring up our guest for this week's. This week is going to be Shelby Hutchings. Um, and she is going to talk to us a little more about herself, what she does, but also about how she is going to be at the Wealthy Brunch. So let's welcome up Shelby.
Hello,
Hello, Shelby.
hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Shelby, if you could tell everyone a little more about yourself, what you do. I know you have different business ventures.
Yeah,
Also, yes. Okay. Yeah, I was about to jump into it, but you got
you can jump into it. Whatever you prefer. Um,
it.
I'll give a little brief background and then we can go forward. So, I'm originally from Las Vegas and I lived almost a decade in Brazil. And during that time, I experienced lots of different opportunities for entrepreneurship. And now I have a few different businesses that I dabble in, just kind of exploring different avenues of creating wealth. And yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm doing right now. And then we can talk a little bit about kind of how I got there.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for that. So I know that you are also vice president of the Toastmasters and St. Augustine. Yes?
Ponte So I'm
Mhm.
Ponte public relations. So I'm like all about how to promote the club. I'm like die hard Toastmaster lady. Like I've been in Toastmasters since I lived in Brazil. And it is just a group that adds so much value to my life. And I feel like to be a part of the group just expands you in so many ways.
Awesome. So you did speak hinted a little bit about living in Brazil. So from your journey from Las Vegas to Brazil, how has living in such diverse places really helped you or influenced you as a business owner, entrepreneur?
That's a great question. Starting out in Las Vegas, I kind of started my journey into exposure to entrepreneurship from working under two people called Kurt and Angela Harris, and they opened up an herbal shop and they were helping the community with like healing themselves naturally. So this was my first exposure to real entrepreneurship. And what appealed to me about it was their lifestyle, the freedom, and the creativity that they were able to bring into their passion. I worked for them all through my teens. And then when I met my husband at 22, I moved to Brazil and kind of continued that idea of I definitely want to continue with entrepreneurship, but I also want to be in the herbal world. So that was kind of the birth of my first entrepreneurial venture, which was Premium Herb Trader. And we were exporting herbs from Brazil to the United States to that company to be able to sell at their store. So it was nice that I had that connection. And when I was working for them, I was their office manager. And so I saw how the back end worked and how they were able to sustain themselves as entrepreneurs without a boss or without somebody else, just really creating wealth out of nothing, out of their passion. And so we did Premium Herb Trader for a couple years. And then after that, I started a company called Insae, which was a yoga mat company. And that was a fun little adventure with a girlfriend of mine named Nicole in Brazil. She was a Brazilian woman. And her family did export from China. And so there was a connection there on how to get the yoga mats to Brazil. And we did that for a little while. And then when 2020 hit, we decided to move back to the US. So we sold all of our inventory for Insae and we moved to the US. And then I took care of my babies for a couple of years and didn't really explore any of that. At the time, my husband was really into crypto, and then he had his W-2 and his investment journey. And then when my kids got a little bit older, I was like, okay, now it's time to explore a little bit more about, what I can contribute to or what my passions are. And that's kind of when I started to explore, okay, how can we expand the wealth that, we've created? And one of the things is like, okay, real estate investing, right? All of the billionaires in the world have real estate. So maybe it's a game that I should probably learn about.
Right.
So I started learning about real estate investing and also seller financing and how to structure deals without the bank. And that was a really eye opener because I was like, oh, wow, this is really just about creating relationships with people, structuring deals that make sense for everybody, and then being able to expand your wealth that way. And that was huge for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a big deal. So at the time, I didn't really get into any of my own real estate projects. What I did is I actually teamed up with real estate investors and I would invest in their projects. So I was their capital person and then I would get my return on that. But then I got an opportunity to invest in local businesses too. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. I believe in local businesses. I believe in entrepreneurship. And so I started investing in local businesses, which then was birthed the CSMI investments. And that's kind of what we do over there is invest in local businesses or real estate deals. And then we recently just bought a truck parking company here in Jacksonville. And that's been a whole journey. My husband has just done wonderful with that. And that's something that we're really excited about. And then as far as the content club and also my like little side hustle media company that I've created, for that, I just make content for small businesses, again, to emphasize the fact that I really believe in entrepreneurship and people creating freedom for themselves.
Yes.
And so I help to promote small businesses that focus on wellness specifically. That's kind of like my niche of what I like. And so I create content for them. And then the Content Club is a passion project for me, Yasha, and Jazz, where we're figuring out how to add value to the community of women who are entrepreneurs, who are ambitious women, and how we can add value in the real estate market, but then also content creation, because we're all in it in different ways and we add different things to that. So that's kind of all of it encompassed together of how the journey came from Las Vegas till now in Jacksonville and all of the different endeavors that I've had the opportunity to be a part of.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, the different facets of as far as like your entrepreneurship journey and to show that, okay, um, to the core, you've always had the more of a holistic approach as far as your business ventures and what you um, chose to get into as a business owner. But it does show like your growth and your journey through the years, which is very interesting, fascinating, cool. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we know that overall what pushed you into starting CSMI investments and things like that. For entrepreneurs aspiring or inspiring investors that are attending the Wealthy Brunch or even thinking about attending the Wealthy Brunch, what is the key mindset or strategy that you would recommend for wealth building?
That's a wonderful question. And I think I'm going to approach it more from a philosophical standpoint.
Okay.
I think that it's really important to build wealth and to maintain wealth is about your self-concept. How do you think about yourself? Are you someone who makes money? Are you somebody who can hold on to money? Are you a good steward of money? What's your relationship with money and wealth and your own expansion? And so really, I think it comes down to the mindset of how you're talking to yourself, what you believe about yourself, because what you believe about yourself is what's going to be true in your life. We know that, right? What you think about, so within is the same without. As above, so below, all the things, right? It all connects together. And so my thing would be more about how are you energetically in alignment with prosperity and how are you ever expanding in your idea of prosperity within yourself? And that comes with skills, right? Learning new skills, trusting in yourself, taking leaps of faith, having a track record that shows that you can do these things that are challenging and difficult to be able to expand you into being able to hold more. And then the universe or God giving you more to hold on to because you're a good steward and you've proved that you have this capabilities and skill to do that. So that's kind of my biggest approach with wealth and also a journey I'm on myself is the expansion of myself and my mindset and my self-concept.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree with that. It really starts with mindset overall and what you believe in yourself. Because if you believe that, hey, I can only go this far, that's as far as you're going to get. Or if
Absolutely.
you have any money limiting beliefs, then that is going to limit you as far as how much money you're able to obtain, how much resources you're able to attain, and it's going to hinder you on that wealth journey. we have an activity we do that I do in all the events that I host, and that's a money questionnaire.
Mhm.
And it's really identifying those limiting beliefs that we tend to have, like money's the root of all evil,
Right.
or like, or more money, more problems.
Mhm.
Things that we hear or we've heard over time, and we start believing it, like, oh yeah, more money, more problems. And then, but we don't realize how it's actually stopping us from getting to that next phase or that next point, because we truly believe that. um,
1,000%. The beliefs is what shapes our lives. And if
mm,
we're screaming more money, more problems, we're gonna have more money and more problems.
right.
But it's about the
Yeah.
mantras, so maybe changing it to more money, more prosperity, or more expansion, and
Hmm.
also owning the fact that the more money that you have, the more you can expand into the gifts that you want to give to people. So it's your duty to make more money, to expand and to give back, and to, really share who you came to be in this life. If this is someone that, is growing and expanding, that the more money you have, the more you can give and make an effect while you're here.
Yes, facts. Facts. Cool. Awesome. So many of the attendees are interested in growing their ventures or even getting started. How does storytelling, I know that's a huge part of really in speaking, how does storytelling and authentic communication play a role in building a successful brand or business?
I think that storytelling is in our DNA as humans, right? That's what we do. We tell stories. We tell stories about the past, about the future. We tell stories in ourselves, and to hit on what we just talked about, our belief systems, right? What stories are we telling ourselves that shape our lives? Storytelling is fundamental to being a human. But if you can utilize and leverage storytelling to be able to connect with an audience, you'll never be broke. And we're in such a unique time right now where we can go on social media for free.
Hmm.
We can put out whatever we want and get as many eyes as we want on it, depending on how much output we contribute to that, and tell our story and connect with people. And authenticity, I think, is something that's so huge, and I think it's going to be even more in the next decade, is showing up authentically, taking off all of the facade. There's this huge push for founder content, right? It's like these founders who are building these businesses, but people are interested in the founder, and so we're
Hmm.
just watching their lives, and it's
Yeah.
fascinating. And it's like we're connecting with the founder, and we don't even care what they're selling. They could sell pickles. It doesn't matter, but we like them and we trust them, and so we buy their pickles.
Yeah.
So I think it's about connecting with people and finding your tribe and people who align with you, showing up authentically, which is not going to call everybody in, and that's okay. But really being true to yourself and continuing to be vulnerable and show up, even though everything may not always work out, but failing forward and having the courage to be able to show up authentically with the possibility of rejection, and having the wisdom to know that it has nothing to do with you and it's more about the filter with which people are seeing you through.
Oh, that's good. Okay, Shelby. Oh, see,
Oh,
y'all feel this energy, because this is what we could expect from Shelby at the brunch. Because oh my God,
that's so
it's
funny.
always, yes, it's always gems. It's always listen and
I appreciate that. That's really kind of you.
oh yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you. um, what excites you the most about being a guest speaker and a host at the Wealthy Brunch this year?
Well, when you called, I was so excited. I think you felt it through the phone that I was like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing opportunity. And I was so flattered and appreciative that I was even considered to speak and to host and to just be a part of this. I'm excited about a few things. One of them is to be able to put into practice all of the time that I've spent in Toastmasters, because it's like, what do you go to public speaking group for?
Right.
Speak in public, right?
Yeah.
And to have the opportunity and to have someone ask you to do it is a big deal. And so selfishly, I'm really excited about kind of challenging myself and being a part of that. I'm also really excited about expanding my network of people who have the same values and who have goals and ambitions. And I'm going to be in a room with all of these people and we can expand each other in different ways. And that really, really excites me. And then also to hear the speakers and to hear all of the knowledge that's going to be there. I mean, you're putting this on. This is something, I mean, you can just see also the lack of limiting beliefs that you have about yourself to have the audacity to do whatever you want to do and to create this out of nothing. And for me, I want to be a part of that, of people who are betting on themselves like that. And so that's what I'm most excited about with being a part of the Wealthy Brunch in general.
Yes, thank you. So, what can I know we already kind of throughout this whole live, we got a sneak peek of the Shelby grown to know. But what else can the attendees expect from Shelby at the brunch?
Well, I hope to bring all of the positive energy and vibes and vulnerability. I want to talk about prosperity and mindset and our self concept and personal development. I think all of the things that entrepreneurs deal with on a regular basis is
Yeah.
us against us, right? It's like getting out of your own stuff to be able to cross those barriers. It really is a journey of self discovery to go through entrepreneurship because you're not depending on anyone else. It is you against you most of the time. And I really want to touch on that in the best way that I know how. And I just want to make it fun and exciting and bring all of the energy and share any nuggets of wisdom that I've collected along the way and to be able to share it and give it back to whoever has the opportunity to be able to come.
Absolutely. Thank you. Um, what, anything that you want to leave everyone with before we end this live?
Well, make sure that you show up to the Wealthy Brunch ready to
Yes.
learn and to
Mhm.
have a great time and to connect with people and come with an open mind and an open heart to be able to fully take advantage of the opportunity that Wadleen is presenting us with.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shelby. Um,
Welcome.
where can people connect with you?
Oh, just hit me on Instagram at Shelby L. Hutchings. I'm on there kind of all over the place. I've been traveling for 3 weeks, so you'll probably see a lot of travel content coming out soon and wellness stuff. And yeah, I'm on my own journey of figuring it all out. So check it out there and see where things go.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure that you go ahead. Tickets are still available on the Eventbrite to the Wealthy Brunch that's going to be happening on December 14th at the Jesse Ball DuPont Center in downtown Jacksonville. You can also find more information on the Eventbrite regarding the speakers, what to expect, as well as check out our sponsors and vendor section as well. So you can see what different vendors that are going to be at the brunch, as well as we are making sure that we are raising money for Family Foundations, which is a local non-for-profit that is assisting families with their mental health, as well as making sure that they get into their properties or homes in the future. So make sure that you go ahead and grab your tickets to the Wealthy Brunch, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Shelby, for joining me. And I'll see y'all next week for another episode of this Sipping Wealth Live Wealthy Brunch Edition. Thank you,
Thank you
Shelby.
so much.